bull market really continued last week, and we continued to see kind of a broadening out beyond just your mega cap tech stocks, which is good to see. We've been talking about that for a while, where you really want to see the broadening out in terms of sectors and areas within the market, and not just have it relegated to one specific niche. And so that's exactly what we've been experiencing here over the last few weeks. So that breakout continued. The Dow actually did really well last night, but small caps really broke out. Probably should have been the title. Small caps breakout. Had a stellar week. So continuing on with this just raging bull market this summer, it's been a lot of fun to see. So let's kind of get into it. I am Mike Minter. This is your Market in Minutes report. And we are looking back on last week, July 8th through the 12th. And I apologize, it's been a little disjointed this summer. I haven't been able to make as many videos. And then we got hit by this storm last week, and that was a hairy one. So I hope everybody's doing well and safe. Here in the Houston area, it was pretty traumatic. It was people still without power and lots of damage throughout the city. So hope everybody is safe and sound. Let's look at the actual numbers behind last week. Here, as we talked about, the Dow really had a breakout week, but look at small caps. Russell 2000 up 6%. So this is what happens when you start to see, the breadth of the market kind of expanding out. So the small caps have really struggled here lately. So it's nice to see the small players, having a piece of the pie as well. So and again, they're much more economically sensitive, much more impacted by rates than some of your mega cap companies. And so when things start to really improve from a rate standpoint or economic standpoint, you tend to see small caps do really well. So nice to see there. Nasdaq was the laggard, as again, we're kind of seeing the sector rotation out of tech. Not that they're doing poorly, but you're kind of seeing some profit taking there and putting it into other sectors of the market where investors feel like they're going to have their day in the sun here as well. And even internationals did well last week. So just all in all, a really, really great week. And so this has really lifted year-to-date performance. You got the Dow up 7% now, S&P up almost 19, Russell up almost 7. And this has really just occurred in the course of a 1 or 2 weeks. It was negative not too long ago. You've got Nasdaq up 23% on the year, and now foreign stocks up 10.5%. So really a great week all across the board, even globally. Rates have not changed. I mean, they've been up and down over the last few weeks since I've been able to do a video, but nothing dramatic, really. Still kind of in this range-bound situation. 30 years at 4.45, 10-year 4.22, 2-year is at 4.46, and the 30-year mortgage has ticked down a little bit, which is always good for home buyers. That's now at 7.33. Would love to see that coming down some more. So Dow did have a breakout. Again, I think small cap was probably the bigger winner, but Dow breaks 40,000 again. Mega cap tech led modest gains for the S&P 500 and the Dow in the first 2 days, but in the Dow actually posted some losses there. But the narrow trading range didn't last long as market leadership shifted midweek. So upbeat corporate earnings reports. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Earnings are in full swing now, and they've been looking good. Milder than expected inflation in June. That was a big one. And so this drove momentum in a handful of larger industrial and consumer stocks. And then now we have Q2 earnings season in full swing, dominated mostly by financial and consumer-oriented companies. But markets seemed initially unfazed by better than expected reports from some money center banks, and some observers suggested higher interest rates may be one of the reasons for the market's lukewarm response. But the Dow ended the week with a solid gain after 3 consecutive weeks of trailing the S&P and Nasdaq. It's kind of been the case for a while. The Dow also closed above 40,000. The first time it had done so since May, so a nice little milestone. Also hit a 50-week intraday high on Friday. So things are looking up across the board. As we referred to in the last slide, did have some mixed inflation news there. We had 2 inflation reports. So we had the PPI, producer price index, and the CPI, the consumer price. The PPI, which measures the change in wholesale prices, rose 2.6. in June, year over year, its largest increase in 16 months. But by contrast, the CPI, so this is the consumer, which tracks consumer prices, showed that the pace of inflation slowed in June. Market really liked that. So market shrugged off the conflicting data, instead embracing the cooler CPI data. And the Fed is likely taking notes for its next Fed meeting, scheduled for July 30th to the 31st, a couple weeks from now. It's largely believed now that the Fed will begin to cut rates at some point this year. Speculating on when is kind of a fool's errand. It changes by the week. So if I had to guess, I'd say it's probably going to happen this year. September, maybe. Anybody's guess at this point. But the reality is things are all moving in the right direction for them to be able to, justifiably lower rates. So good news there. What's on deck? So a lot of stuff going on here. I won't go through every bit of this, but we are full on reporting earnings. We're lots of data coming out. So Monday we got Fed chair today speaking. So we'll see what that's all about. Tuesday we have retail sales, import, export, business inventories, and housing market. Fed official Adriana Kugler speaks. A lot of Fed officials speaking this week. So Wednesday we have housing starts and permits, industrial production, again, Fed speaking. Thursday, we have jobless claims, more Fed officials speaking, and the Fed balance sheet. And Friday, we have more Fed officials. So a lot of commentary coming out from the Fed this week. We will get a lot of maybe varying viewpoints. Who knows? But could be a little confusing, but we shall see. Companies reporting earnings. Monday, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock. Tuesday, United Health Group, Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab. A lot of financials reporting this week. Wednesday, Johnson & Johnson, Elements Health, and Prologis. Thursday is Netflix, Abbott Labs, Marsh and McLennan, and the Blackstone Group. Friday is American Express. So that rounds out the week, guys. As always, we will take it all in this week and report back to you next week. This is all our contact information here. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. We'd love to have you get all our videos as they come out. But other than that, here is some light disclosures for a Monday, and we will talk to you next week. Hopefully this week will be as good as last week. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.